And as you become more clear and more concise, that's how you're able to, one, define your destination and get to where you need to go.
Hey, everybody, welcome back to another amazing opportunity to learn, to grow, to experience, to apply, and to succeed. My name is Jon Kovach Jr. I'm the founder and CEO of Champion Circle, a networking association developed to help you succeed, to help you understand the processes that when you mastermind with other people and you are held accountable, that you achieve results at accelerated rates. We're proud of this methodology. We can't wait to share with you some teaching moments today on the topics of one of my favorite books. And as you know, at Champion Circle, we are students of Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich. Here's my copy always in hand, whether it's this version or my workbook version. I always have a copy in hand. I learned that from Bob Proctor. But today we're going to be talking about one of the amazing steps to riches. In fact, this is the sixth step to riches, called organized planning. And this one, compared to all of them, they're all important, but this one is about crystallizing those desires into action. And on tonight's lineup, some of the speakers you'll get to hear from include you'll get to hear from Mr. William Blake, who will be speaking about being the GPS for your dreams. Oh, I can't wait. These are so exciting and very powerful. And Lauren Cobb will be speaking on fear not temporary defeat. And then also I will be wrapping up today's training with desires into action, the definite demands principles. Before we jump in, before we say anything, I just got to say, thank you to my team, and thank you to all those who continue to watch and learn from us here at Champion Circle. I've got to tell you that we encourage all our members and those who come and attend our meetings, our virtual roundtables, as well as our programs or accountability programs. We tell you every day you need to learn. And LEARN is an acronym that stands for L for listen. Listen to positive audios. Integrity comes from those who are full of inspiration, motivation, and power. E stands for engage. Engage with your community, engage with your accountability partners, engage with those who are going to help you succeed and uplift you from where you stand. A in the LEARN acronym stands for action through accountability. That means follow up every day. That means do what you say you're going to do. That means integrity is all around. And then number 4, I guess if we're numbering them now, R stands for read. Read every single day. Read positive things. Read 10 words. Read 10 pages. Read 10 chapters. But you need to read things that are going to enhance your life. And then the N in LEARN stands for nurture. Nurture your life, your mind, your body, your soul. Do what you need to do. Stop eating those ding-dongs, Twinkies, and ho-hos and start focusing on your real health, the mind health, the heart health, the blood health, the gut health, all of the above, and take care of yourself. We have an entire training program on how to learn every day. But before we really dive into that, today is focused on Napoleon Hill's organized planning. First up in the lineup is Mr. William Blake. Mr. William Blake is a speaker, he's a dyslexic coach, and he's also a human being who has extensive knowledge and skill sets and talents that you'll be able to learn from as you seek to improve this step to riches and become someone who is living their best life. I'm going to add him to the spotlight and say, welcome to the stage, Mr. William Blake. The floor is yours, my friend.
If you fail to plan, you plan to fail. I didn't know how crucial this quote was until I had an opportunity last night to be able to speak to a bunch of people. What I usually do when it comes to practicing before a presentation is I'll hit up my phone, I'll put it right here. I got my little spotlight right here, and I'll just record myself giving my speech. This one last night was for 2 minutes. And I was condensing one that I usually do that's about 15 to 20 minutes long down to that 2 minutes. And I kept hitting the 2 minute and 34 mark. Every single time it was right around there. And I'm like, I can't go over. I need to shrink it down. So I pulled up ChatGPT and I'm like, what the heck can I do? Because ChatGPT is a wonderful and great friend that I have these days. And it gave me some suggestions. And as I looked at my 2-minute speech, I realized that there were some things that didn't need to be in there, but also that it was missing something. And as I wrote it down, pen to paper, ChatGPT was on the side. This was pen to paper, wrote down exactly what I wanted to say. I crossed out a few things and added one more thing. And as I rehearsed, I hit that 2-minute mark. And I thought, planning is so important. Obviously, practice is important, going out and having the experience. But even before that, you got to one, create it in your mind, which is imagination, one of Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich principles. But even before like you take action on that imagination, you got to have the blueprint. You got to be able to know what you need to do. And putting that pen to paper, I realized that as I planned, I was planning to not fail, but I planned to succeed. And today I want to share with you something that as you're going for your dreams, as you're trying to reach that goal, that finish line that you're aiming for, I want to share this principle that has been applied to my life that I've used so many times and that can hopefully help you as well. The principle is this: be the GPS of your dreams. Each of us have that app on the phone. Android, you got Google Maps. Apple, you got Apple Maps. But you click on that app and it opens up the page. What is the first thing it asks you for? Everyone knows. Where are you going? Where the heck is your destination? Then it asks you for a second thing. Now, for most of us don't know what that second thing is because it's automatically put in there most of the time. It's where we're at right now. How in the world can we get to where we need to go if we don't know where we're starting at? That's like standing in the middle of, not standing, you wouldn't stand in the middle of the ocean, sitting in a boat in the middle of the ocean by yourself. You know that you want to go to, let's say, France as you're sitting in the Pacific Ocean, I think is it. But if you don't know where you're at in the ocean, you can paddle as hard as you want. You can take as much action as you want, but there's no way that you are going to get there without knowing exactly where you are to solidify the direction that you need to go. So I want to share with you 3 different ways that you can become that GPS for your dream. That first one is what we already talked about. Define your final destination. Your final destination, that's the dream, that's the goal, that's that finish line, that's that ultimate satisfactory desire that you have, that you want to accomplish. And then once you hit there, you can say to yourself, I am a success. Now, how do you get that? How do you define your final destination? Well, first off, you gotta visualize exactly what you want. You gotta get very deep with it. You got to go to the physical side. Do you want to, like you and your body, do you want a 6-pack? Do you want to look healthy? Do you want to be full and energetic? Or do you just want like a keg, like this beautiful being that you're looking at right now? Mentally, are you wanting to read like 50 books a year? Are you wanting to have just these wisdom quotes and all this experiences in your mind and you're just mentally stable? Or are you wanting to be the king of movie quotes? On the spiritual side, do you want a relationship with yourself? You want a relationship with your God? You want a relationship with people around you? On the social side, do you want to be a great communicator? Financially, do you want to be financially independent, or do you want to be poor the rest of your life? Right? As you define what you want and become very clear, you get to where you need to go. Now, those were very surface level desires. But we got to go even deeper. I want you to do this with me. Imagine your dream house. What do you envision? Is it a cabin in the woods? Is it a little house right next to on the beach in the ocean? Or is it this mansion in one of your favorite cities that you love to go to? Go even deeper. What color is the house? Is your driveway, does it go for a mile? Or is it one of those circular ones to where you don't even have to back out of your driveway? You can just go right around and pull on to where you need to go. Do you have grass? Do you have gravel? What kind of flowers are in your garden? Is your house full of bricks? Is it full of panels? What is it? Like, this is how specific we want to get. And as you become more specific, it narrows down the possibilities of the directions you need. And as you become more clear and more concise, that's how you're able to, one, define your destination and get to where you need to go. Now, obviously, that's not everything that you need, because everyone imagines what they want. The poor and the wealthy both imagine themselves being rich, but only one of them is. So then it goes to the second part of you gotta assess your current location. You gotta know exactly where you are. This one's hard. It really is, because you gotta have a reality check with yourself. You gotta become very self-aware. Because I don't know if you guys do this, but I do this a lot. Whenever I go out to networking events or family reunions, I walk up to those people and I say, "Hey, how are you doing?" They're like, "Good." "Willie, how are you doing?" And I'm like, "Oh, doing better than good." Now, that's just a phrase I use all the time. Better than good, better than most. I got that from Les Brown. But like, there are days where I'm just not feeling good, but I'll still say that I'm good. Am I lying to people? Yeah, in some form I am. When it comes to accessing your current location, you got to be real and you got to be raw with yourself. So you got to ask the question, how is my life right now? Is my relationship with my spouse really going as good as I tell other people? Or are there some complications? On the physical side, am I actually healthy? Am I going out? Am I doing the pull-ups? Am I feeling the muscles and the energy? Or am I just kind of lazy and just want to sit around? When I go out and want to socialize, am I putting on this persona of being this extrovert and just loving it? Or am I really just kind of more of an introverted person, to where I'm able to go out and be energetic, but then come home and just love the quiet time that I have to myself? To figure out where exactly we are, we got to ask those hard questions. Where are we at right now, to be able to figure out to where we need to go? Now that we know our final destination, now that we know where we're at, we have that gap in between. How do we fill that gap in between? That is the third thing. This is planning your route. This is where we go into strategic planning, and this is where we reverse engineer the goal, which I'll talk about in a second. But like I said before, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. I don't think any of us fail to plan. None of us want to fail in life, but we all know that it's needed for success. So a lot of us high achievers, champions, legends in our field, we want to fail fast and fail forward. And by doing so, we're able to get that success that we want. But that doesn't mean that we're clumsy everywhere we go. That doesn't mean we trip from side to side to side. It simply means that we have a plan and we're failing forward in it by making those mistakes and getting the experience that we need to be able to get out what the desired outcome is. And so when we go into planning, that route, one of the easiest ways that I found in my life is taking that goal, that end result, that final destination that you're working on, and starting there. Reverse engineering it back. And then afterwards, you have this clear and fine plan that you can follow. One of the clients that I worked with, he had a goal, and his goal was to get a girlfriend. Now, this wasn't like, super motivational of being like, I want to own the jets. I want this Fortune 500 company. He's just like, nah, I want a girlfriend. And I'm like, cool, unique. I've never done that before, but let's do it, because I believed in the plan and I believed in these principles and I know that they work. So we started at the top. You wanted a girlfriend. How do you get a girlfriend? Well, you got to be dating a girl. Super simple. Awesome. How do you date a girl? Well, you got to have a girl that's a friend. Cool. How do you get a girl that's a friend? Well, you got to have girls in your friend group, right? Cool. How do you get girls in your friend group? Well, you got to have a friend group that you go with, that you surround yourself with. It's like, awesome. How do you have that? That branched off into two different ones. The first one was going to events, going to where people are, to where your friends are, to where the girls are, so that you can get to know them, so that you can date them, so that you can eventually become a boyfriend and girlfriend. So boom, we put a pin in that, going to events. The other side branched off to communicating and talking with your friends. From there, we branched off into two lines. The first one of how do you talk to your friends is you got to have a life. You got to have self-belief. You got to have self-confidence. You got to be doing stuff. You got to love yourself. So we put a pin in that. And then the other one is the skills of communication, asking questions, being able to listen. So the skill of communication, boom, we put a pin in it. So as he wanted that girlfriend, we used reverse engineering to go from that top of having a girlfriend all the way down to 3 steps that he can do right now to start on that track to get a girlfriend. And that is going to an event where his friends are at. That's self-love, having a life, doing things that he loves to do. And that third one is the skill of communication. And my client and I were able to figure out a few different things that we can do in more specifics. And he had a set plan that he could act on. And he was able to take immediate action on it. This works with all goals. All you got to do is start with the end in mind. A lot of us think, no, you got to start with step 1. That's true. But the start of the plan is starting at that finish line and working backwards to reverse engineer it. So as I wrap this up, to be the GPS of your dreams, first, you got to define that final destination. Second, you got to assess your current location, where you're at right now. And then third, you got to plan your route. Start at the finish, reverse engineer it, and you get that clear plan that you need to take to be able to take the action you need to. So my call to action for you today is this. I want you to take 5 minutes after you listen to this, and I want you to figure out what your goal is and reverse engineer it. Because if you do, you're going to have so much more clarity than you have had before. And that passion, that burning desire that comes out from that motivation and from the planning will help ignite you to go forward into that destination that you want. And you will become a success. Continue to believe in yourself, continue to take action, and always remember, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. Thank you.
Oh man, so many amazing key takeaways in that. I gotta share, and Willie, I'll keep you up here on the screen for a second. I just gotta say thank you. Some huge key takeaways for me, and it's always an emphasis here at Champion Circle. Number 1, write it down. That is the first step to crystallization. Number 2 was take immediate action. And number 3, this one's more of an existential application, but here at Champion Circle, we are all going to start calling you William the Matchmaker. So that's just one thing I wanted to make sure was evident in this training. But I just want to say thank you. And quick question for you. I know I'm putting you on the spot here, but this was really, really impactful and powerful. What do you think those who are currently struggling with when it comes to taking immediate action, what do you think is the necessary kick in the butt or pants that they need to literally put that into movement, into get the ball rolling, if you will?
Yeah. The best thing that has worked for me when I need that kick in the pants is to use my 2% rule, which is taking 2% action of your goal. If your goal is 100%, taking 2% action of that. And it's big enough to where you get that fire, you get that kick out of it, and you get out of your comfort zone. But it's not enough to where you hit analysis paralysis and you hit those levels of perfection and procrastination. So it'd just be like, look at your goal, just figure out 2% that you can do today to work on it. And the guideline with that I've used is that if it feels too big to be able to take action on, then you haven't knocked it down enough. which means that you need to knock it down into little smaller steps. And then just take every single day that 2% action, and you'll get there.
Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Mr. William Blake. You heard it here. That is incredible. Thank you, my friend, and appreciate your counsel with us today. Next up on our awesome lineup, we get to hear from the amazing Lauren Cobb. Lauren Cobb is a wife, a mother, an entrepreneur. She's been super helpful to people online by helping them find resources to help them save money, as well as she has helped her husband create, design, run, and expand an incredible online marketing business where they focus on website development, creation, and so much more. I'm excited to introduce you to her, and her topic today is going to be on fear, not temporary defeat. Without any further ado, I'm going to bring to the stage the amazing Miss Lauren Cobb. Lauren, the floor is yours.
Thank you, John. Distinguishing between temporary defeat and permanent failure is crucial for success. Some say that defeat becomes failure when you don't get over it or when you allow an event to stop you. Others say that there is no such thing as failure unless you accept it as such. This has been a big topic in my life as I look back. And it's funny to think that because I have always been outgoing, happy, adventurous, I would say. And so when I look back at what I allowed myself not to do because of my fear of failing, it makes me a little sad. But at the same time, it makes me happy that I've learned that now and I see those things in my life. A big moment that I remember just a few years ago, oh gosh, it's been 5 years now, when my husband and I decided to start our design company. And it was really a big leap for us because we had 3 young kids, 5 and under, and we were in the middle of, expanding and things like that. And trying to decide where we were going to go. Are we going to, go the W-2 route, just do side work? Are we going to go all in? And what were our dreams that we really wanted to achieve? What did we see our family achieving? Where did we want to live? What kind of lifestyle did we want? And those are all things that race through your mind for, like, how do I take action on what deciding? And once you decide what you want, how do you do it? But the fear of failure is always there. Who are you afraid of failing in front of? And for us, it was our family, our friends, and those who we had told our dreams and desires to. And I think that's for everybody, right? But for us, it was really scary. We jumped all in, and then COVID hit, and that shook everybody's lives. It was terrifying, but we hung in there, and we had failures for sure. And looking back now, we handled some of them gracefully, some of them not, right? And you have to not get in your head about that. But one thing that I am so grateful for is that we had this mastermind that we were a part of. And, those here teaching have been a part of it as well. And being able to take our failures back to our mastermind group and saying, what do we do? Where do we go? What are your ideas? That gave us the umph and little boost in our step to keep going. And it is through that process that we learned to plan for failure and to not let failure determine our outcomes. With that, I remember the day that we were able to make our big first sale, right? Like, we jumped in just doing any type of design work for anybody we could, right? Because you're getting your business going. And the day we decided to up-level our business and take a leap for it, that was scary because we were letting go of a lot of small clients. And ultimately, we were up leveling and seeking out those what's the word? Oh my goodness. Oh my mind. Anyway, the people that we wanted to work with, right? Like we wanted to level up and take it to the next level, working with businesses and corporations rather than just our little, entrepreneur group, which is great. But we knew that that wasn't going to help us reach our financial goals and get our family to our dreams. And so doing that, we literally went down to 2 clients. And that is terrifying. How are you going to put food on the table? What are you going to do? But we hit the ground running. And a lot of that was just talking to people and opening up and being real about who you are, and what your strengths are. And I remember the day that we signed our contract with our first global client. That was the most exciting day. And we sent the proposals, we, communicating back and forth. And when they came back just with a sounds great, here's your signed contract and a check, I remember that day was so exciting. And it really gave us the confidence to keep pursuing it. And I'm so grateful for that because it's opened so many doors just because we got over our fear of failure. So with that, some quotes that I love that I've been looking up. I'm a big quote person so that I can just see them like Napoleon Hill teaches, see them, read them, and you will believe that, right? You're more likely to take action on it. So Henry Ford says, failure is the opportunity to begin again more intelligently. So you're learning from it. You're not letting it say, man, my skills really are not good. I am no good at what I do. I don't know what to do. You're saying, okay, what was my mistake? Where did I drop the ball? Where do I need to improve? And then I'm going to go again. And then it goes on. Another one is talk to yourself like you would someone you love. And that's from Brené Brown. And she's really good at talking about self-love and accepting your failures and your strengths. And then this is an unknown one, but know this, you can start over each morning. And I love that because it's a fresh start every day. And you don't have to be stuck and defined by what you did yesterday. You get to wake up and decide what you're going to do each day. And kind of fun, in a lot of things that you hear about failure and different things like that, you hear about Thomas Edison. And did you know that Edison's name is patented on 1,093 patents? He was not afraid of failure, right? And I do not recall the exact number, but it took something of over 1,000 tries or more, might be higher than that, lots higher, before he got the light bulb. He wasn't going to let it stop him. He's like the prime example of saying, okay, this didn't work. Let's go back to the drawing board. Okay, that worked, but this didn't. Let's go back to the drawing board. And if you can have that dedication in your own life, you will open up so many doors. And it's not that you have to have all the knowledge, like we've learned in the previous chapters with Think and Grow Rich. You do not have to have all the answers, but you can go find the people who do, and you surround yourself with them. And this goes for your personal life, for business, anything that you need, whether your physical health, your mental state, you go and find the people who have the skills that you need to move forward. And you can learn what you need to, and then utilize them in their space if they can help you grow. To wrap it up, you are in control of your life. And I myself have let failure define me in the past, especially as I was a teen. And it's not fun because you sit there and you second guess, you get in your head, you tell yourself like, oh, I should have done this, I should have done that. But it is not a healthy place for you to be. And you do not have to stay there. You don't even have to go there. I love that in Think and Grow Rich, we learn to plan for failure. You just plan for it. You know you're not perfect. Nobody is. You know you don't have all the tools in your toolkit right away. You plan for it. And what are you going to do when that happens? Where are you going to go? So I challenge everyone and all of you listening to go and write down your plan and then write down your failure plan. What are you going to do when that doesn't succeed? So that you aren't left second guessing yourself, second guessing your ideas, your desires, that you know how to go and get unstuck. You know who to go to, because we all will be there at some point and you're not alone. In ending, I just want to say to take a look at your life and what have you learned from your failures? And then what are you going to move forward with? And once again, distinguishing between temporary defeat and permanent failure is crucial for success. And then it went on to say, others say that there is no such thing as failure unless it is accepted as such. Don't accept it as failure, accept it as a plan to move forward.
All right, Lauren, that was amazing as well. Thank you so much for what you shared and that amazing teaching. I've just got to ask you one question for those listening in and thinking to themselves, wow, that's so applicable because I too am struggling as a family to really take my power back. What would be your advice on getting organized and really starting today for those who are probably in the same shoes as you were?
I would say getting clear on what your desire is number one, because I tend to be like, have this big dream and I have so many desires, but like we learn in Think and Grow Rich, you have to make that plan. What is your desire? What are the steps to get there? And then be able to talk and pull those people into your circle that will help you get there. Because honestly, we couldn't have done it without our mastermind group and those that we asked to help support us along the way. And you can't be afraid to ask and to speak up. Because if we had kept our desire to ourselves, it would have been impossible. Because one is like we needed help with childcare sometimes while we went and pursued these things. So being open with people and hey, even sometimes it was, Mom, will you take the kids overnight so we can go to this networking thing? Can you help us out? And then two, not being afraid to be like, okay, we have to cut some things out so that we can get done what we want. And the things that aren't serving you, right? And so not being afraid, but the support is crucial. Your mastermind group and not being afraid to fail was really and truly. And a lot of that is keeping every day into your self-development and learning how to separate from taking it personal as who you are as a person to it was just we need to change and pivot and not to let it internally destroy you.
So awesome. I'm going to give you the fire emoji. Everyone give it up for Lauren Cobb. Thank you so much for sharing what you shared today. And we really just appreciate the value that's being shared in these Champion Circle online trainings. So thank you so much. Last, you get to hear from myself. My name is Jon Kovach Jr. I'm the founder and also the chairman of Champion Circle. As you, got to lift this way, look over my shoulder here, if you can see that. But Champion Circle was designed to help you succeed. Let me tell you a little bit about that story because it literally is the crystallization of my desire into action. I was sitting there in a regular networking meeting where everybody was putting on a face, putting on their best selves for one another. There were the semantics, and then there were the general practices, such as exchanging of business cards, shaking of hands, making sure you set up your one-on-ones, and all of the things that go into networking. I loathed it. It was so uncomfortable because I was sitting in a room full of adults who I admired, because my entire life, all I ever wanted to do and become was a professional. It didn't matter if it was a professional athlete or a professional basket weaver. I just wanted to be a professional because I understood one thing, that professionals were the people who did something well enough where they could help other people. And that was the standard I set for myself, a standard of excellence that I realized a professional is someone who goes beyond what the regular person can do. Anyone can go on YouTube and learn how to fix a washer and a dryer. I've done that before. And anyone can go and learn a couple quick skills. Yes, those are important. And yes, it's amazing because humans are talented as heck. But it is what we continually do. It is what we specialize in. It is what we do on a daily basis that creates the difference in how we become experts to other people. And professionals are the ones who are able to help others. And, you could take the context of professional athletes. Sure. What does an NBA basketball player do to help me? Well, he entertains us. Well, they create an experience as we watch them finesse their way down the court and put the ball in the hoop that not many people in this world can do professionally. Professionals are different than regular people because professionals are those who seek repetitively to improve their craft, to provide value, and to succeed at the highest level. That's what professionals are all about. So I'm sitting here in this room looking around and seeing all of these professionals giving a non-professional way of networking. And I was just blown away at the standard, at the excellence that they had set themselves to. And I like to raise bars. I like to bring myself to a standard and say, you know what, if it's done this way, then we need to do it better. And I've just always been that way. I'm sorry if you were ever on one of my committees or if we were on a team together and I was like, huh, 10 points, we're going for 100, setting the bar extremely high for everyone. But I do so in good faith because it's not that I am toxically optimistic. No, it's because I see the potential in people before they see it themselves. And I've always seen that. And you could say that we do that for everybody, and it's harder for us to do ourselves. I completely agree. But I'll tell you what, I have something called the gold medal standard. And the gold medal standard is a reminder to me that every day that I will never settle for mediocrity, yet I will always strive for excellence. And that gold medal standard is what keeps me driving. So I'm sitting here in this networking meeting and I said, this has got to change. I've either got to leave and make a change myself, or I've got to build something that's going to make a difference in the world. And there birthed this, wrong corner, this beautiful baby. I keep pointing to the wrong corner. Champion Circle. An idea that we could incorporate not only our authentic selves in the process of building trust, but to see how that equates to an equivalent of results. And when you add a little recreational fun in there, plus some learning, plus some applications, and the beautiful accountability factor, you can accelerate your results. Not only did I not know that this would work, but I just believed it would because I wanted to accomplish something that I believed would actually happen. So I had to test my results. So I got together a few of my contacts and we started a networking group. And this networking group began with activities, getting to know you activities like games and fun things where we were laughing, shaking hands, raising our heart rates a little bit. And then we got to some learning, and then we got to some connecting, and then we used some mastermind methodologies to help us accomplish those things and to take action. Well, after a few months, we started to see results. So we doubled down on this activity, on this idea that if we just change the way we conduct networking, we change the way we do things, maybe we'll provide better value and more results for people. I've got to tell you, after measuring 9 months of connections and activities through these events, we followed up with and learned from all of the relationships that were conducted in these months at our activities, and we were able to track down an estimated amount of $20 million transacted between the members in regular attendance of our event. That's just the members in regular attendance. That's just those who we followed up with. That's not including the people who came once and left, or the people who came a couple times but then never got back to me on their results. That is the result of what came out of this event. $20 million. And you want to know how much money I got out of that $20 million? Zero. Zip. I'm choking. It was so bad. It was zero. There was nothing. And I was so proud to say that, because it wasn't about making money. It wasn't about growing my business. It was about proving the point that there are results generated from a little bit of a different approach to being a professional. If you think being a professional is doing what everyone else is doing, you are dead wrong. Dead wrong. Let me say it one more time. Dead wrong. I know I'm a little intense today, guys, but I'm just having fun. And I've got to say, it's not a bad thing. It's not that you're not getting results. It's that you're getting results at a lower standard than what could be. And I'm not saying we're better. I'm just saying, if you want to be a champion, if you want to see accelerated results, if you want to see something that comes about through the ways of incredible application, accountability, your results do come in exponential factors and results. And I've seen that. And you've just heard it in the testimonies of William Blake, Ian Sturmer, Lauren Cobb. These are why these people are this is why these people are my executives at the Champion Circle. Because these are people who have lived through it, who are going through it, who are creating value and success in their own lives. And we're working this system together. I live by this book, Think and Grow Rich. It has given me so many insights. So you're probably wondering, Jon, what are you going to speak on today? I had to tell that story because I got to share with you a quote. And I'll give you a few quick points and teaching moments in accordance with this quote. But in Think and Grow Rich, Napoleon Hill said, riches, when they come in huge quantities, are never the result of hard work. Oh, let's pause there for a second. Riches, when they come in huge quantities, are never the result of hard work. Oh, some people will say, work harder and you'll make it happen. I'm going to continue. Riches come, if they come at all, in response to definite demands based upon the application of definite principles, and not by chance or luck. But success requires no apologies, and failure permits no alibis. I want to dive into this quote for just a moment and to share with you three powerful principles that I think really stand out in your learning and your application today. Because today I want you to, one, realize that riches come by definite demands. Two, that by definite principles you shall obtain them. And three, success requires no apologies. This is important. I feel like this quote to me encapsulates the essence of organized planning, because transferring desires into action through definite demands and principles becomes your ultimate game plan. Organization, you heard it. Writing it down, putting it into action, doing what you say you're going to do. Those are all principles that lead to the application of this. So let's explore these ideas for just a minute in depth. Again, these are the three major applications of this quote, and they stand out to me, and I want to help you to apply them. Number one, riches come by definite demands. This first principle is understanding that riches or success in any endeavor require clear but definite demands. It's not about vague wishes, but about being specific to your goals, okay? I want to share a story with you, and I think you have already heard it today and in these trainings, but nonetheless, it is one of the best examples, and you heard it from Lauren. Consider Thomas Edison, who had a clear, definite demand to create the electric light bulb. And despite facing over 1,000 failures, and I'm going to say over 1,000 because I've listened to so many speeches who have used this example, and it's come to my conclusion that They think they have roughly about 1,000 recorded, but that doesn't include the times he attempted, threw the glass at the wall, stomped around, spit on his work, and ran out. Those are all just hypotheticals. I can only imagine what it was like, right, to exceed failure so many times. But that's including what he did document. We do not know what he did not document. Does that make sense? So in his specific goal, he kept focused. And it just reminds me of our attempt at building a more networking organization. The $20 million of transacted gold and awesomeness came from those who reported back, who were willing to share their successes. It does not include those who did not report back. And I think that that's a powerful principle. So each failure was a step closer to Edison's goal because he learned what didn't work, refining his approach, and then he became closer and closer to success until we have the thing that's shining in my face to give you a clearer picture on this video right now. It is a light bulb. So the teaching point in this one is to apply in your life by start defining your goals with precision. Literally write them down. Make them specific. For example, instead of saying something like, I want to be successful. That's a great goal, but be more specific. I want to increase my sales by 20% within the next 90 days. That is so much more specific. I recommend you join us at Champion Circle and follow Napoleon Hill's desire formula. Every time I do the 90-day desire formula, I achieve greater heights and success. And I know that my teammates can say the same thing. It is a valuable experience. All right, lesson number 2, be definite by definite principles. So in the quote, he says, riches come, if they come at all, in response to definite demands. But definite principles are those that we teach, are the things that we share. If you follow a plan, an organized thought process, a methodology, a system, if you even have an inkling of what direction you're going, you are that much more organized and that much more professional than the rest of the world. I'm going to say this a little bit later in my speech. By a little, I mean in just a few minutes here. But I want to encourage you to be the 1%, because it is the 1% that do things differently. Don't do what everyone else is doing. One of my favorite quotes from college, I have a lanyard that I carry around with me today because it is so interesting. And I think I said this last month in our training, but don't be boring. You're boring. Don't be boring, okay? Do what you love. And it's so important because if you do what everyone else is doing, you're boring. But if you do what you love and do what makes you excited, you're interesting, you're different, you're motivated, and you inspire others to do the same. So as next as we understand that by definite demands, that success is built on the application of definite principles. These principles act as the foundation upon which your plans are built. You guys might be familiar with the company Mary Kay Cosmetics. Well, think of Mary Kay Ash, the founder of Mary Kay Cosmetics. She built her company on the principle of empowering women through business opportunities. Her definite principle was to provide quality products and exceptional support to her sales team, creating a culture and success of empowerment. This is something that I aspire to on a daily basis because it's not necessarily about what you're selling, but it's by providing quality and exceptional support to your people to create success and empower them. That is how I've seen businesses, companies become good, better, best companies. The book Good to Great is all about this, and it's a great teaching point. So identify and commit to the principles that will guide your actions. We recommend Champion Circle. We recommend reading Think and Grow Rich. We recommend attending our virtual roundtables each month. We recommend using our accountability coaches and our system to accomplish what you want to do, because by doing that, you will achieve great things at incredible rates. And those incredible rates are accelerated, might I add. These could be the principles of integrity, hard work, continuous learning, or customer service. It doesn't matter. Whatever you're working on, whatever realm you're in, ensure that every action you take aligns with these principles. All right. I also wanted to share, this is called the Networker's Guide to Success. You might want to write this down because everywhere I go, there are a few things I like to try at the local restaurants and venues that I like to venture on. At every conference, at every business event, I love to stroll down the street and learn a little bit about that city. And there's two things I'm typically looking for. Number one is who's got the best nachos. I love nachos. I'm on a quest to find out who in the world has the best nachos. And then I'm also looking for, oh, the best sweet or freshwater taffy. Do you guys like Laffy Taffy? Oh my gosh. I know it's so bad for your teeth. Oh my gosh. I know it's just straight up sugar, but freaking Laffy Taffy, it is amazing. How do you spell it? Well, I spell it Taffi. And that's an acronym for me because the networker's guide to success is to have great taffy, right? I'm always looking for great taffy. And you've got to have trust, T, A, accountability, F, follow up, F, fun, and the last one is investment. And that investment isn't just like spending money or putting your money in somewhere that will grow. What that investment really stands for, as I pull it up, is investment in yourself. Give up of yourself unequivocally. And I use that word because what you need to do is you need to invest in yourself by sharing with others. The more we share, the more we care. The more we give, the more we provide counsel for other people. And I got to tell you that trust plus accountability plus follow up plus fun plus investment equals valuable relationships. And I'm not just talking any relationships. I'm talking $20 million relationships. So TAFFI, Taffi, stands for trust, accountability, follow up, fun, and investment to get $20 million relationships or greater. Third and final principle as I wrap up, I just want to share the last part of this principle and this teaching, which is success requires no apologies. My coach in high school, when I was running track and field, he used to yell at me. He'd yell, freshman. I feel it today when I hear that. He would yell at me. He just called me by title, freshman, because I was the only freshman who was even qualified to run on the track team and the only freshman who made it to the varsity team. He would yell, freshman, your excuses are not unique. That always sat with me. Always sat with me differently. Not only did it piss me off because I thought I was unique. I thought what I had to share and why I was late to class or why I didn't turn in that assignment was unique. I always thought I was justified, but truly and honestly, if I'm being real with you, and I hope you feel my love when I say this, but I'm going to yell at you, freshman, you, your excuses are not unique. Success requires no apologies. Finally, we must recognize that true success requires no apologies. It is achieved through deliberate effort and confidence in one's plans. You guys are probably familiar with the name Oprah Winfrey. She's a prime example of someone who never apologized for her success. She faced numerous obstacles, including poverty and discrimination, but she never let these define her. Instead, she pursued her goals, the unwavering determination, and the confidence. Success was always the end answer. You heard today with Willie Blake, he said that begin with the end in mind. When you do that, you don't hear anything on the way. You don't let anything get in your path. Success is the answer. Embrace your success with pride and avoid making excuses for your failures. Each setback is an opportunity to learn and grow. That's what we learned today from Lauren. Approach your goals with confidence and a mindset of resilience. When a business faces a downturn or some unexplained hardship or bump in the road, instead of blaming the market or external factors, the leadership can analyze what went wrong. Okay, we can always look at it and say what really went wrong, learn from it, and develop a stronger strategy for the future. Literally write it down. I love whiteboard sessions. They're my favorite coaching principle. I do it for myself. I do it for others. And when I go and I just throw everything on the board and find an example that will give me strength to overcome my challenges, I walk away with so much clarity. So I encourage you to write it down. Organized planning is about turning your desires into action through definite demands and principles. Remember that riches and success are not the result of hard work, not hard work alone, but of clear, deliberate planning and execution. Define your goals, adhere to your principles, and pursue your success without apologies. I get a little choked up when I wrap this up and I say that let's take a moment to reflect on your own goals. I do this every day. What definite demands can we make today? What principles will guide us? And how can we approach our success with the confidence it deserves? Remember this one thing. Everything you need is already inside you. Take the necessary steps, get the best coaching and counsel, and make it happen. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us today. This concludes the 6th month of Champion Circle online training. You can find us at mychampionscircle.com. To learn more, go to mychampionscircle.com and join us as you will succeed in every action that you take towards your goals. Ladies and gentlemen, Champion Circle.